Good morning, YouTube. My name's Zach, and today I'm going to be talking about democracy. First, I'm going to start with a little bit of a background about democracy. Democracy was founded around 3,000 years ago in ancient Greece. It was, at the time, a very popular idea. People rose up and threw over the Spartans and, I think at the time, the Persians, although don't quote me on that, who were invading. Athens is the traditional home of this fine political movement. But at 3,000 years old, it's getting on a bit. It's got its problems. It's not really working very well. Now, first of all, I'd like you to answer this question. Do you feel that you live in a democracy? Now to this, the answer will probably be yes. We do live in a democracy. We have a vote. We have the choice. But do you feel you have that choice? At the end of the day, your vote is only really going to be split between three people in this country, the UK. The Tories, the Liberals, and Labour, all as inefficient as the next, and they don't really change anything. And once you've chosen these things, do you feel that your choice is going to change anything at all? I would say no to both those questions. I don't think I have a real choice. My vote isn't going to change anything. At the best, it's just going to keep the people I don't want out. At the moment, I can't even vote, so I don't have a choice. My word means nothing to those people. I don't think that the choice will change anything at all. At the end of the day, the people stay in power. It's the same House of Lords, it's the same people calling the votes. And the people that get in all come from the same background. Oxbridge, educated, from Eton, from Harrow. I'm sure there's the occasional difference, but the parties overall are still the same. And the newspapers, they really hold the vote. I'd like to have a look now. Sorry. Excuse me, I'm trying to record it here. Can you keep it down? Sorry about that. Here's the newspapers. Now, for the majority, it's the Murdochs. They own The Sun, 3 million readers. They have the News of the World, have many readers, and a few of the others. It's basically the vote is held between The Guardian, The Sun, and The Telegraph. If The Sun and The Telegraph agree, whoever they choose gets in. And that's the long and the short of it. Our decision has very little to do about it, simply because the masses are uninformed. You, the generic public, who are watching this video, don't know too much about it. You don't really base your opinions on what you're looking at. Now, I'm sure there are one or two of you who have decided to watch this video out of personal interest, but the chances are you're just people who have found this while stumbling across some videos. And if you are one of those people, I urge you now to go and research these things, because even if your choice doesn't make any difference, if everyone understands where you're coming from, your choice makes a difference, and your understanding does. Although mass movements don't always work. In 2005, before the country went to war in Iraq, 1 million people marched to Trafalgar Square in central London. All the government did at that time was to divert the traffic. Not really a firebrand decision that changed anything. 1 million people didn't do much. Perhaps if they'd set fire to a couple of cars, there would have been a few discussions, but at the end of the day, we would have still gone to a war in Iraq, and it wouldn't have changed anything. And also, our leadership is inefficient. Think about it. At the moment, we've got the Tories in power. They haven't changed anything. They've muddled around with it. They've broken a few things. They're busy selling off the NHS and a few other services. They've spent a lot of money on a new railway for their trains. They're basically playing at being in power. They've not really done anything. Sure, they talk the talk, but they don't really walk the walk. I'd like now to talk a little bit about the opposite, dictatorship. This does not work under any circumstances. The people are often oppressed. There are very few occasions where it's genuinely worked. North Korea being one of them. And this too is about to fall. We in Britain live under very much the same illusion as North Korea. We believe that the people in power are the right ones. And can you please be quiet? I'm recording! Sorry about that again. I have rather an inconsiderate family at times. Where was I? That was it. North Korea. The people there are delusional. And we may say they're unhappy. Our opinion, though, does not come from informed. We would not be happy in that situation because we are slightly more informed, or at least misinformed in a different way. Oh, I am no lefty firebrand in advance of socialism and communism, but at least the people in North Korea are happy, and at least they're pleased when their country goes to war, and we can't do anything about it when our country goes to war. We're upset about it, and our country still doesn't give a damn what we have to say. I was on that Stop the War march. I was 2005. I would have been 7 years old, younger. I'd have been about 6 years old at the time. And I saw it. I can remember it. 1 million people, 2 million people probably. Everyone I knew was out on that march, and the government didn't give a damn. So it doesn't matter whether we're happy or unhappy about it. At least in North Korea, they're happy. Now, there's no way the right way to run a country in North Korea. There's terrible problems. There's poverty. There's malnourishment, starvation. It's not going to last simply because of outside influence. People are being withheld. But there's something we can take from this. The mass leadership structure genuinely does work. At certainly that level. Of course, the poverty and the hunger will eventually tip it over the edge, but say if we came up with a system that scrapped that. Now, I'm going to talk about something else here. My idea for a change in the planet. And a fundamental change in the way the human race is run, because at the moment it's simply not going to work. There's going to be arguments and hatred and war and poverty and famine and the rest of it. Economic problems, you name it. I'd like to propose a voluntary dictatorship. We all together say, right, this is an experiment, and we're going to take these people and we're going to give them absolute power and control. They rule. We, the observing masses, live happily. This one united power has control. Now, this isn't going to work at the moment, because of course we have all these dodgy people in control, which is a problem. So, we can go back to the idea that Plato had 2,500 years ago. We raise a certain number of people, and we train them to be the most ethical people. Now, we've got an advance in Plato in the Greek society. We can take these people based on genetic traits, on family history, on all these sorts of things, and educate them using proper psychological methods and training. Highly immoral, of course, and remove any traits of essentially individuality, and make them the ultimate ethical leading machine. You may be thinking now that I've lost the plot completely, but bear me out. These people will be able to lead over us with no argument from us whatsoever. There'll be no war because they'll have complete control. No famine because they're the ultimate ethical machine, therefore will make the right decisions. And they'll be regulated by us because at the point where we become too hungry to continue, they'll be overthrown and replaced with a new regime. And that won't happen because as ultimate leading machines, they're not that stupid. We would also have to raise an overseeing mass, people with no power and nothing to benefit from either way changing, to keep a regulation on them. A sort of counter system that runs and balances this off them, so they don't become out of power. And for now, I'd like to start by making my one recommendation, and slightly tongue-in-cheek for who should be Supreme World Leader. Let's recommend David Attenborough as my personal vote, the last end of democracy, the last non-wave, as we herald the removal of this antiquated and broken system. It's been good to us, but it's on its way out now. Simply because I can't really imagine him doing anyone harm. He's a nice chap. He's got nothing to gain from power. He'll be good. Maybe slightly inefficient, but crops will get grown, people will be fed, and there won't be war. And on that slightly witty, tongue-in-cheek schoolboy thought, I'd like to bid you farewell, and I hope you think on this as always. Subscribe, do what you like, comment in the description if you feel that you have anything to take up with me. Please, argue by all means. This is a debate. My points will be contested strongly, I think, but no stupidity, no trolling. and nothing along those lines. Thank you. Goodbye.